Unless you've been living under a rock, you are fully aware that last weekend, the former and perhaps future president, Donald J. Trump, survived an assassination attempt at one of his large outdoor public rallies. Since that time, much has been said about the motives and the rhetoric that perhaps led this 20-year-old lunatic to the top of that roof on Saturday afternoon. Leftists and media, both insanely responsible for kooky exaggerations about Trump, they've been quick to point out that both sides engage in irresponsible rhetoric. The right has countered that while that may be the case, the bullets of assassination attempts, be it Steve Scalise, Brett Kavanaugh, Rand Paul, the Family Research Council, Donald Trump, they seem to be flying only from left to right. So it seems to me the only fair thing to do is to develop a singular standard and hold both sides to that same standard. And I thought, in deference to the left, we could just use the one that they developed in order to impeach and hold Donald Trump himself responsible for the January 6th riot. Remember now, this is the standard established by the January 6th Congressional Committee, the one investigating the riot, the committee that was worshipped by leftists the country over. And they said that Trump's words revealed that he engaged in a multi-part conspiracy, that Trump premeditated the riot. And as Democrat Representative Benny Thompson wrote, Trump lit that fire. So what exactly was it that Trump said that, according to a Democratic representative named Jamie Raskin, would galvanize his followers, unleash a political firestorm, and change the course of our history as a country? What were his words that, according to this well-respected committee of lawmakers, would, quote, put the lives of American lawmakers at risk? Well, Trump wrote on Twitter, statistically impossible to have lost the 2020 election. Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there, will be wild. Those words, Raskin said, drew tens of thousands of Americans to Washington to form the angry crowd that would be transformed on January 6th into a violent mob. So those words, coupled with Trump's continued claims that he rightfully won the 2020 election, led to the mob. There's the standard. It doesn't matter if Trump meant for things to get out of control. Doesn't matter if he meant for things to get violent or unruly. It doesn't matter if he actually urged violence or called for peace. What matters is that his words were taken by others as a call to arms, actual arms. After all, Liz Cheney said herself,
President Trump is a 76-year-old man. He is not an impressionable child. Just like everyone else in our country, he is responsible for his own actions and his own choices.
He is responsible for how others took his words, the things they did, and therefore he must pay a legal price for it. That's the standard we're using. All righty.
You say Donald Trump, if he is reelected, it will be the end of the republic.
One of the things that we see happening today is a sort of a sleepwalking into dictatorship.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy.
Called your opponent an existential threat. On a call a week ago, you said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye.
I didn't say crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was, there was very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him.
Huh. That sounds a lot like Trump's defense that he only wanted a rally, not a riot or an insurrection. But remember, it doesn't matter what is meant. What matters is how other people respond to the words. We agreed to use the same standard. Trump got impeached for his words inciting a riot. So when do the impeachment trials and expulsion hearings for inciting a political assassination attempt begin?